All right, let's do it. Hi guys, I'm Clark. I'm a software developer and I've been on my own indie hacking journey for the past 2 months. I've been posting my progress on Twitter as well as streaming on Twitch, and today I'm gonna start documenting on YouTube. I have a lot of project ideas that I wanna make, and I think it would be very cool to document those from nothing to something over here on YouTube, and that's what I'm gonna do. So let's get started with today's project. So obviously for a project, you need an idea. I'm on Twitter a lot, so I scroll and I see what people are saying. Today I was scrolling through Twitter and I saw this tweet. Now, at first glance, this tweet doesn't seem that crazy. It's just a guy on Twitter posting his revenue, which is very cool. Now, the part that got me is the fact that AppSumo takes 70% of the revenue. That's pretty crazy. Now, I understand that AppSumo provides a lot of essentially marketing for these startups, which is obviously very valuable, but 70% just seems extremely greedy, especially in the indie hacker world. 70% of the revenue for an indie hacker can leave them with almost nothing. Most of them aren't making that much money, so every dollar literally counts. Now, what I want to do is take the idea of AppSumo, but switch it around, target it towards indie hackers, and obviously get rid of the 70% revenue share, because that's kind of crazy. It'll probably be more like 30%, 70% going to the indie hacker. Now, as I said, in this journey, I'm going to be documenting everything from scratch. So we need to make a landing page. That's what I'm gonna get started with in this episode. And in the next episodes, we will go through building the product and launching it, and then on to the next project. By no means am I a designer, so building this landing page is gonna take a lot of focus for me. So let's get started. I wanted to take a quick second and tell you a bit more about myself. So I'm a sophomore in college, currently studying computer science. I've been programming since I was in 7th grade after I took my first class, and it's just stuck with me ever since. I found out about indie hacking after finding some online communities, and I decided to try it at the start of this year. So far, I've completed 3 projects in public, with one of them earning its first revenue. And now I have a rough design, if that's what you want to call it. It's very rough. Now I'm gonna hop into Figma and get started. I started by throwing down the basic layout. This is pretty much just what I had sketched out earlier. I started making some progress at this point and found something that I liked. I also switched to dark mode because, my eyes, I couldn't take it any longer. I started to throw in some small details to make it look cleaner. And then I also wanted a preview of what the platform could look like. So I added that and I was done. So it has been a few hours. It's definitely dark outside now. I just finished up the design. I think I got something that's, half decent. I think it's okay. It's definitely not anything to write home about, but compared to the original sketch, I think it looks pretty good. Now, what good is the design if we don't build it? So I have to go ahead and program this in my JavaScript flavor of choice, which is SvelteKit. I'm going to use Tailwind CSS for the styling, and for the database, I'm going to use a simple Terso database just so I can store the emails. I don't need anything fancy right now. That's going to be about it. I think that being a good indie hacker is really about much more than just programming. When you're doing everything by yourself, you have to know how to do those other things just as well or even better than coding. When I first started out indie hacking, I completely neglected those and almost gave up, but then I started growing my audience on Twitter and started streaming on Twitch, and ultimately I got my first revenue. I'm really glad for this journey because I think the skills I'm learning translate into the entrepreneurial world where I see myself being successful in just a few years' time. And just like that, we're wrapping up the start of this project, and the site is now live at indiedeal.io if you wanted to check it out for yourself. In the next episode, we'll start planning the project and figuring out how it's going to be built. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.